outside in, not inside out for Daygame. The people who think is inside out, like RSD victims, have no idea what they're talking about. I'm going to show you that Daygame is actually outside in first. And then whenever you reach a plateau, it becomes inside out. But it always starts with outside in. All right. Basically, Daygame is not outside in first. I was trying to make RSD sheeps understand it is outside in first, not inside out. The thing is, at the time, there's these artistic, there was these autistic RSD victims who were inner gaming that shit. Apparently no one's here. Oh, good. Now we have people showing up. So basically, there are autistic RSD victims who are inner gaming that shit. The big problem was that it was like learning how to ride a motorcycle. Do you want to inner game that shit when you're riding down a racetrack? Or do you want to be competent with physical skills, then competent? And competence equals confidence. So if you inner game, try and ride a motorcycle down the racetrack as fast as you can. Would that make any sense? That's RSD's way. Isn't that crazy? You drive a motorcycle, your friend says, let's see if you can drive that motorcycle. And you got one day to learn on the racetrack. Well, you want to be inner gaming that shit? I wouldn't, because that's a false confidence. That's what they don't understand. So it means no matter what, for RSD victims, what they feel like on the inside, they may feel an emotional storm. It doesn't show up on the outside. It's not congruent to what they want to display. So you're being too overconfident, like RSD ego tripping it, or showing the wrong emotions, like anger, or being too beta, which is too incongruent. So my point is, I've been listening to the infields of my students. They may feel confident on the inside, but however, is not shown on the outside. The only way to fix the problem in the beginning is not to inner game that shit. When you're inner gaming that shit, you're taking more massive action. You're taking more massive uncalibrated action. And that motorcycle, when you're driving down the racetrack, is that you think by driving the motorcycle more, you're going to start to get better and better. Well, some people have higher SMV. Some people are taller. Some people are more genetically gifted. They can ride the motorcycle faster, that 1%. But for the 99%, using the RSD mindset of going down the racetrack with a motorcycle, you are sure to fail. That's what I want to get to you. The message, you don't get it. Most people would dismiss it because this goes against everything RSD is talking about. Why is it outside in, John? Why is it outside in? It doesn't make sense. Shouldn't it be inside out? You can't inside out an MMA fight. If somebody says you're going to go in the ring the next day, would you rather learn some outer in skills, some basic punches, some basic blocks, some basic movements? Or would you rather inner game that shit? If you inner game that shit, the taller, stronger fighters will be the ones who might get a knockout here or there while they're getting their teeth knocked out like over and over. But I digress. Here's my point, okay? You need to fix the outside first, then inside. RSD victims resist what I'm saying, so they spam approach more, then they're reinforcing bad habits with inner game, which simply makes them spam approach more. And by chance, something amazing happened. I taught them it was outside in first until you hit a plateau. Then you switch to inside out, then back to outside in, then back to inside out. But it always starts with outside in because it has to be outside in. A lot of people are thinking, whoa, John, thank you for what you taught about how a lot of people have high ego and low self-esteem. I know I've suffered from that because when I don't get my way, I get mad. Competence equals confidence. So we're going to talk about the first piece of what's really happening. That's what's causing the problem. I know I repeated myself before, but you guys need to understand this. This chart never changes. This chart over here debunks everything RSD ever says. This is your potential. This is the actions. This is the results. And this is your belief. It does not change, guys. It does not change. Damn, the camera is a little bit low. Let me aim it higher a little bit. Okay. So you may feel like you have a lot of potential. Let's say you're RSD victim and you're doing it outside in, or you're doing inside out. You're inner gaming that shit. So you believe in your inner game and your beliefs that you have a lot of potential. You go out there and you spam approach with bad habits, right? And from there, your results are shit. And your belief in yourself is lower. But your potential, you still feel it's high because you're just taking that motorcycle and you're inner gaming that shit. You reinforce the bad habits. Now it becomes part of your neural pathways. Your results are shit. Your belief lowers because it doesn't really match your belief in yourself. It doesn't matter how much you inner game that shit. When you're driving a motorcycle, you will crash unless you learn. And this is why Elite 30, this is what I'm trying to get to people. If you practice Elite 30 every single day, all day, one day at a time, but somehow, this is the problem. I feel like I'm preaching to the fucking wind. When I talk about Elite 30, you're like, oh, John's trying to sell a product again, or they don't get it. It doesn't click in their fucking mind. You see somebody drops off. They don't fucking get it. They don't fucking get it. I can't get this to their fucking minds because they don't get it. How does Elite 30 help them? And this is what they don't understand. Are you supposed to use push-pull or something to build attraction? Or aren't you supposed to, do a bunch of teases and a bunch of excessive flirts, John, in self-amusement? They don't fucking get it. Because for them, they have shit body language. And this is what they don't understand about outside in. And this, for the last YouTube Live, made a lot of sense to people. This is your day game. And here's the Insta-Day ID. Social comfort. They believe this is the top. Okay? This is what happens when you have the proper body language outside in. You don't have to tease and flirt as much, and you don't have to sexualize it. You don't have to flirt nonstop. Because when they hunch like this, and they talk like this, and they look robotic as shit, or they're sticking out their chest and giving compliments and nonstop validation, what's happening is that they're spiking the emotion. Here's a push-pull. Here's a self-amusement, right? Here's a challenge. And here's a whatever, like another self-amusement. When you look at the overall thing over here, you see that? You're spiking these emotions. This is why they believe that they have to spike the emotions, because they need positive reactions. The RSD victims have no fucking skills. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. Skillless individuals who think they're superior. So they're going out there by taking massive action, massive uncalibrated action, because they need something to happen. So that's why they keep touching, they keep overly flirting, they keep giving validations, which does not work, off the line. They want to spike something. But Elite 30 takes 30 days to master, and most people don't want to do that. I'm just going to preach the truth here. If you guys don't want to listen to it, it's fine with me. I don't give a shit. I'm just going to tell you guys the truth. Here's the top. In the beginning, the attraction may not spike, but when you have the proper body language to the Insta-Date before that happens, social comfort, it will slowly start to spike like this. You see that? Over and over. It get higher and higher and higher until here. And you're wondering, which one has more volume? In the beginning, you're wondering, why are you not teasing? Why are you not flirting? Why are you not trying to touch nonstop? Why are you not acting autistic like RSD victims? Trying to ego trip it. It's very simple. You see that? Because over here, you're going to get a bigger spike of attraction by the body language. It's more man to women. And that's what they don't get. Why are they quitting Daygame during COVID-19, the RSD victims? It's very simple. Because they're spiking it this way. They're uncalibrated. They're like driving a fucking motorcycle. And I should draw a motorcycle over here. If you're riding a motorcycle, let's say this is a one of those Kawasaki motorcycles or some shit, okay? I don't know how it looks like, okay? So something like that motorcycle. That's not bad. It looks kind of like a motorcycle, okay? Right? Huh, it turned out to be something interesting. Okay, so this is a motorcycle, okay? And what happens is whenever they just drive and they're just SMVing it, taking massive action, building bad habits, then keep crashing over and over. Then it crash. Boom. Right here. Then crash. And everything's going to fall apart. So basically, here's another chart, what you don't understand about the outside in. If you learn how to mix the body language with the social skills flow drill, and you guys know it's a triangular flow drill, and you guys are trying to reverse engineer. If you mix the two together, this chart over here is very much like the attraction chart. But what chart is this? What chart is this building? It's called the trust. T-R-U-S-T, the trust social comfort. She starts to trust you gradually because you have social skills. You fit into the evolutionary psychology tribe. That's what I'm trying to make you guys understand. You guys don't get it. None of this clicks for you guys. You slowly build that body language first, right? You see that? You build attraction. So you don't need to flirt and tease nonstop. You're like, holy shit. This is hard, guys. This is hard. Most people cannot fucking do it. Before COVID-19, you can use Game and Spike. That would have worked for some people. That possibly could fit into a romantic and sexual frame of being a boyfriend material. But however, during COVID-19, you have to look that people and women are scared of autism. When you try to act autistic like this, you may feel good. You may get positive reactions, but you're like driving a motorcycle, pretending to drive it, taking massive action and crashing. And over here, once you get the body language, then you can build the trust through the social skills. Don't you guys get it? It's not rockets. Give a thumbs up if this is clicking for you guys. I couldn't spell out any fucking clear. I can't spell out any fucking clear. So when you look at it, social skills and social calibrations, emotional control, and game. When you try to do the other way, the autistic way, you try to focus on game first and then vibing emotions, have no body language, and zero real social skills. These socio skills, your gamified conversational skills. Don't you guys get it? If you work on these two first up here, then you can work on the body language. The body language affects your state of mind. Your state of mind affects your tonality and your social skills, which is hard to do because autistic people, I feel 85% of class. If you can get the social skills down during COVID-19, you can fit into every tribe. It's like evolutionary psychology. The problem is that you're not fitting into the tribes. And this is why I want to spell out to you guys. RSD victims, they're more than 50% of the RSD victims already quit Daygame right now. During these last few months by dismissing what I'm saying. In that fucking email, when that guy sent me, he dismissed Elite 30. He dismissed all this. He says Julian Blanc's mindsets are good and Tyler's mindsets are good. He's basically talking about taking massive action, getting very little results because the actions are fucked. He dismissed how simple Elite 30 really is. But in reality, you can actually build 10 times more attraction, you build 10 times more comfort, and this is the only way you're going to survive. Does that make sense? If it's not clicking, I know you never heard this from any other dating coaches. I'm trying to sound the alarm. If 50% of you quit this year, and then you're taking more RSD style shit, you quit even next year. Next year, it's going to be like 70% of them gone. And every single time I try to tell you guys these things, John's always right. John always can tell the future years before. I say Justin Wayne's a scumbag. RSD is a very dangerous company. You know, the alpha mentoring or strategies. I said that how he's shitty as fuck and how it's like, oh, it's not all like choosing signals. I told you all of these things over and over. And you didn't believe me until now. It's like, John's always right. It's like I'm from the future trying to tell you this style of game. It's like I travel back in time, or this is even back from 200 years in the future, 2,000 years in the past. Social skills and social calibrations of fitting tribes. But you don't want to listen to that shit. You don't want to listen to that shit because you're autistic. You can't fucking do it. I get it. You couldn't even crack the social skills flow drill. At least crack the fucking body language. But you dismiss Elite 30. Oh, I want something new. Fear of missing out. FOMO. I want some new shit. What the fuck is the new shit gonna do except spike more autism during COVID-19? Don't you guys get it? There was 3 fucking lockdowns. 3 fucking lockdowns. I'm just gonna spell out for you. So lockdown number 1 was when Asians could get laid under my training super easily. All they had to do for lockdown number 1 was improve the body language. That was enough to build the attraction. That put them over the line because they're no longer considered Wuhan wash. That's lockdown 1. So therefore, they're building up the body language to build up the attraction. Great, and they got laid out of it. Lockdown number 2 changed. More and more Asians are getting beaten the fuck down. They're getting punched in the back of the head. They're getting cut across the face. They're getting shot at. And the only other race that had been beaten up so badly is the Jewish people during the last month. But other than that, Asians are treated like they're nothing. And 42% of Americans that they polled, if they can name one Asian American actor, cannot name one besides Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan. You guys have done absolutely nothing to change this. And the Asians are the most autistic fucking people when it comes to body language and when it comes to social skills. And when I'm preaching this to them, they don't know what they don't know. You guys don't get it. This is like talking 200 years in the future and bringing back a style of game. It's like, hey, the world is round. That no, it's not, John. It's all flat. You got inner game that shit. RSD, taking massive action. It's like, oh my fucking God. And then you're like, hey, we are not in the center of the universe. Oh no, the Earth is in the center of the universe because RSD said so, because mystery said this, because London Days, because shut the fuck up. How do you not fucking understand this? How can I spell this out even fucking clear? Lockdown number 2, some of the Asians got laid. Lockdown 3, less of them, but some of them did. Why did it get harder? Because there's more and more prejudice towards Asians after COVID-19, the Wuhan wash fashion, all that shit. Right now, the amount of hate has been going up like 1,400%. I look at all the statistics. Don't you guys get it? Don't you guys get it? No, you don't want to listen to that because you don't want to work on your body language. You want to take the shortcut. So this is what I'm trying to tell you, dumb fucking RSD victims out here. I'm saying most of you RSD victims are going to quit in 2021 when you do more gaming shit. You should do the gaming shit after the pandemic is over. The pandemic may not even be over till next year. Economic recovery may not happen even next year. Don't you guys get it? It may not happen because Biden is basically running the credit card of America with as much money as possible. So if you guys are doing gaming shit, so you guys are dropping off. If you guys are doing gaming shit, you should wait until the pandemic is over. You can be as autistic as you want. But if you want to survive the pandemic in lockdown 3 and beyond, like I said, people will not understand what I'm saying. This is too ahead of his time. It's like John Connor going back in time and trying to warn the world, but nobody's going to listen. And the very few that are listening to this will understand what I'm saying. Let me continue. So if you don't fix the action first, you will always go in a downward spiral, no matter how many complicated RSD techniques that you do or stupid inner game mindsets, which is just for autistic sociopaths to take massive action. So it becomes clear to me how to fix former RSD victims by changing their actions inside out first, even if they are nearly unteachable during COVID-19. And this is the big secret. A lot of you, and I know, are going to turn MGTOW because this is the last year for RSD victims. And you're like, John, you should be happy that RSD victims are getting burnt out. You always wanted them to be Darwinism or Darwined out of evolutionary psychology. But now that is happening, I don't want that because it means the economy of day gamers are going to be like 40 or 50% less by the end of the year. This summer, you're already wiped out. And whatever RSD shit that you're going to be learning, you're going to be stuck even further. You're going to be like on your way out. So what's happening is RSD victims are planning on quitting day game, not going to Tinder, not going to night game. They're going to be studying in engineering school or technical school. And then from there, because they're not working on the outside in, they're going to go get a degree, make some money, learn some social skills in a social circle. After that, they're going to, if they cannot get a girlfriend by social skills, they're going to go to Thailand. And I asked one of my students, and he says, yes, I heard this from many RSD victims, and many of them quit. I think it's around 40 or 50% dropout rate now. You guys don't listen to me, there will be no future. It's like John Connor trying to warn people. You know, if you don't listen, and who are the Terminators? Who is Skynet? Is RSD. They're the big tumors that are wiping you out. These are like the more primitive version of the machines before the big war, before Judgment Day. Judgment Day is happening now. If you don't listen to this, and if you guys are listening to this, you are the resistance. My students will not be wiped out, ever. They're going to survive because they have social skills and social calibrations. Outside in. Like I said, to the people that are just showing up. If you look at outside in, if you just look at this chart over here, this is the gamey stuff. You're spiking, push-pull, teases, flirts, self-amusement, touching. It's just a little bit of a triangular spike. There's just not enough attraction. And plus, because you don't fit in the in tribe, you're going to scare off women during COVID. Even you're like, well, they're getting vaccinated. Not enough people are going to get vaccinated across the world. There's going to be like a big percentage that will never get vaccinated who don't believe in this shit. So this pandemic, in this economic crisis, is going to continue. So you need to be more tribal. You're not listening to this. It's okay. But I'd rather get the message out there because some of you will listen to this and some of you make adaptations. Elite 30 is the only way out. Body language, it goes up, 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 up till the instant. But you don't want to listen to this because it's just Elite 30 is too simple. You want to dismiss like RSD victims. You got to affect the outside. It always starts with the belief, or over here, as you can see, P, I believe. This is backwards for my camera. We have potential, and then the actions have to change. Then from down here, you can see their results are shit. Your results are shit. Your belief is going to be shit. It's going to keep going downward spiral. So if you don't change the actions outside in first, you don't stand a chance. You will not survive the machines like Terminator, like the RSD machines. They're going to destroy you. I'm telling you, just like John Connor from the future, you will be destroyed. This is a message from the future. If John Elite can always predict the future, everything I say always turns out to be true. I'm trying to give you a message from the future. There will be less day gamers if you try to inner game that shit. So you always want to start with affecting the action up here, the action first. You don't ever want to change the belief, because if you have bad action, you have bad habits. You build bad habits. This is why they're quitting, because they're too autistic to handle Daygame during COVID-19 now. The RSD victims are quitting left and right. They're dropping like flies. This is the year. Lockdown number 3, 1, 2, and 3. During lockdown 3 has been the worst one so far. Around this period, it should be summer. More people should be daygaming. But instead, the RSD victims cannot handle it anymore. I know this is like a social Darwinism. It's not fair. I know. Too autistic to do daygame. So my students who are listening to this, social skills over here, outside in, the flow drill, as you can see on this chart, down here, you can see the spike. As you can do the flow drill, the triangular flow drill, it'll slowly build trust during COVID-19 like a primal way. And over here is going to build the body language. You see that over here, over and over, through building attraction. So if you can build this much attraction this way by outside in, and then when you get better, and then the body language can drive the social skills. But you're like, John, that's a lot of work. I have to put a lot of work into this shit. I'd rather just use game. I'd rather use the shortcut. Don't you motherfuckers get it? During COVID-19, if you're not doing it this way, then this way, you have no chance. You think you can last forever. Most of the RSD victims, it's like the tumor grows. It grows and it's benign. It's not deadly. Around 6 to 8 years, then it kills you. It becomes cancerous. And then you drop out the game, you go to engineering school, and then you go to fucking like social circle shit. And then after the social circle shit, you're going to go to Thailand. Do you want to live in Thailand, guys? Or you want to listen to this shit? What do you mean by outside in? Have you not been paying attention? Outside in, out of the game. Out of the game. Outside in. I'm going to reiterate this so you understand this. For the new people that are showing up, what I'm saying is for outside in, potential, actions, R is for results, and B is for beliefs. It goes this way. If you don't change the actions here, you understand that? You're going to go in downward spiral because you're going to be building bad habits during COVID-19, like RSD victim. They believe you can inner game that shit. It's kind of like riding a motorcycle, and you have one day to learn it. Would you rather learn the outer game of how to ride a motorcycle, the fundamentals, or would you rather inner game that shit? I know it sounds so stupid. Obviously, most of you will pick, I'd rather learn how to physically ride the motorcycle so I don't crash. Understandably, that's true. Because if you don't learn how to ride the motorcycle properly, competence equals confidence. I'm trying to spell it out for you guys. You guys are not getting it. Because you're like, RSD, RSD used to take massive action, right? Let's complicate the motorcycle riding. Let's learn all these stupid maneuvers that are not scientific. So what happens is that you start spiking with a motorcycle, you have no skills, and you feel like by doing maneuvers, you feel like you're taking massive action, because it's not about positive compliance. It's about positive reactions. Positive reactions. That's what you're looking for, because you're trying to ego trip it, and you get fight on every single fucking time, but you feel good taking massive action on the track. And then when it comes time to race, you get knocked the fuck out. Your motorcycle crashes, and you're wondering what happened. Now you got bad habits. I can't even fucking correct it after you ride on the track too many times. And then you start to go in a downward spiral. Does that make sense? The only way, the actions of Elite 30, the social calibrations, if you got the right body language, it's like a Wi-Fi signal. It starts to spike up and up slowly. It does not go up very quickly, but once you can get the body language, it goes up and up and up. I wasted so many years with my fucking life trying to learn game using RSD techniques. The only time I got results was when I applied self-improvement, red pill contest, and John Elite in his fashion. There is nothing about red pill that really works. You should just got Elite 30 to save yourself a lot of time. And you keep trying to change the actions outside in first. Once you do it outside in and you're stuck in the plateau, maybe you practice Elite 30 for 3 or 4 months and you're not getting better, but you already got laid a few times. Guess what? Now you can use inside out. You get it? That's what they don't understand. Now it's inside out. It's like 80% outer game, 20% inner game now. Okay, now you work on the cracks in your brain. But once that's plateaued, you go back to outside in because you need to change this. And the only way you can inside out is when you get the results under my coaching. You guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. You could have got much faster results, ARDP, much faster. You could have got over and over because it's a skill. Nobody wants to learn skills during COVID-19 because the RSD victims who are washing out cannot adapt to the skill set. How can I make this any clearer? Outside in, not inside out. And if they fail to go to Thailand, of course, and 1% of the RSD victims will preach to everyone else, oh, yeah, I mean, use RSD, right? Let's dismiss John Elite stuff. But guess what happens when you listen to them during the last few months? You all dropped out, haven't you? Good riddance. Listen, once you die and once you drop out, you don't come back. You'll be too mentally weak because by the time you build so many bad habits, doing it your way, you're going to lose reality. Working an outer game works better for 99%. My plan was to start teaching people, outside in, not inside out first. And it's not acting lessons. It's not even congruent when you try and copy other actors. It's like going on a motorcycle and trying to copy someone's maneuvers. You don't even understand what the maneuver is, and everyone has different maneuvers. You rather be focusing on the fundamentals first before you focus on copying other people. In fact, that's not even a good idea. Charisma King says that you should copy other actors. In reality, he has 0 Daygame lay testimonials. What the fuck does he know? So I started educating people who didn't get it. Like I was 200 years in the future. But I didn't stop there, right? I didn't. I had to explain to people how people in the past, they met through social skills and body language like a tribe leader. That's like a natural game, or that's how the human race met. That's how your grandparents met. But you say, oh, the times have changed. No, they haven't. The same evolutionary psychology, status matters, having a good lifestyle, women with torque in front of people, that's evolutionary psychology. Having more height, women be more compliant, you get laid faster, having more social skills, fitting in tribe. Don't you guys get it? It's all evolutionary psychology. And all of a sudden, because in 2001, when I started Daygame, and RSD afterwards, it's generation 2, start doing away with all the evolutionary psychology. I was here before Mystery too. 2001, I was like, me and Ross were there first. I was doing Daygame, he was not. He was doing night game. Like, he pretends he does Daygame. You guys are not getting this. None of this is clicking. Elite 30 is the solution. It's not because, oh, John wants to make more money. It's more like, here's the fucking solution. I built it for you guys. So that way you can still get laid even if you didn't take a boot camp from me, because that's day 1 of my boot camp. Elite 30, you dumb fucks. Except the boot camp is tougher than Elite 30. But I'm giving you roughly what I'm teaching in the first day of my boot camp away. No wonder so many students pull on the first day, like half of them, without learning fucking game. They learn game on the 3rd day. You're like, what the fuck? It doesn't make any sense. You dumb fucks, you don't get it. It's like, I'm from the future, 200 years. I'm trying to explain to you, dumb motherfuckers. And you guys are like, having a thumb up your ass. How did I get this into your fucking brain? How do I get this into your fucking brain? How? I can't, because you guys are dropping off. I can't get it through your fucking brain because you've been so gaslighted. You've been completely brainwashed. That's all game tactics and push pull this, push pull that. What the fuck does that have to do with? For fuck's sakes, I just hope somebody gets what I'm saying. One like, not dropping off. Okay, fine. You guys can. I'm just saying. By the time you guys listen to me, most of you, a big percentage of you, will already be dropped out by the time at the end of the year. The ones who are dropping off, you'll probably be gone anyway. So Darwinism happens. I'm glad you're talking about evolutionary psychology. Very relevant when dealing with the mating dance. Yeah, exactly. So that's all it is. It's about procreation. You need certain value and certain behavior and certain characteristics. And you can't do that inside out because it's just like riding a motorcycle. If you go in there daygaming with just mindsets, you don't know how your body is like. Yesterday, I was analyzing infields from 2 students. The first one was a German student. And for him, his fucking, infield analysis was shit. He was telling me how he's flirting through the entire time. Here's a Chinese student. Okay? Hold on a second. Let's hear it. Okay.
I saw you, and I wanted to come and say hi to you because I was a little bit intrigued by your hairstyle.
Intrigued by your hairstyle. That means already giving validation when he has absolutely no outer game skills. Validation will kill your attraction.
Pretty elegant.
Elegance. Now 2 of them. Now listen to her voice.
Oh, elegant. Wow.
Oh, elegance. Wow, you have no value, you Chinese fuck. But that's what they teach out there because they have no fucking idea about game, how this works.
It's gorgeous, and also a little bit elegant.
Elegant. Oh, look at her. She's like, what the fuck? This low value cuck is getting.
Pretty and elegant. Thank you.
So are you a?
Oh, thank you. Now she's feeling validated, just like all the other guys giving her likes during Instagram. If you listen to validation shit, I want to ask you a question. How many testimonials did dating coaches get when they give validation? When they teach validation? They don't have many testimonials. Only like very few. Less than a handful, maybe like 2. Validation equals less testimonials. Don't you see that one stupid fucking tactic? Because that's in their mind. They have no skills. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. Unskilled individuals are trying to make something happen. You're not getting positive compliance. I tried to explain to this student that this woman it's like you're selling her something that she doesn't want to buy. She doesn't want to buy this soundbar. But she's like, she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. So she's giving you fake reactions. And for dating coaches, when they record this shit, and especially RSD Tyler trying to do some autistic touching and stuff, they think they're getting positive reactions. It doesn't mean it's positive compliance. Because now this trust meter over here for social skills is non-existent. You're giving validation. You're trying to spike it. You see that? You'd rather be using the body language to build the attraction. But somehow, are you guys getting this, or am I speaking to the fucking wind until you guys like get so gaslighted until you have to wait a few more years and say John's right about everything? Do you always have to wait a few years to realize everything I say is so fucking correct? When have I ever been wrong about anything? Not even once. Everything always catches up. It's like Nostradamus telling you all this shit, and you're always seeing in a few years everything I say happens. But no, you don't want to listen. Just wait until a few years when you're all burnt out.
Do you go to the gym like a lot?
No, not at all. No.
Yeah.
You can hear how annoyed she sounds, like another fucking pickup artist. Now we got a Chinese guy.
You seem to be like in very good shape. So.
You're in very good shape. You see that? It's like Todd Valentine got in this shitty game with a hunching body language, like Hunch Valentine. Hunch Valentine believes that because he walks a woman into a cab, that's a poo, like a shit, like a poo, or playing pool, right? Like on the pool table, or maybe in a swimming pool. That's how stupid they are. Positive reactions, no fucking clue about game. You guys are not getting it. Well, I'm gonna say anyways, whether you get it or not. One like, of course, John's way too ahead of his time. John's like from the future, like hundreds of years, trying to tell people this is how game works. But no, they don't want to listen because they're just too primitive. You're like UFOs trying to explain to the stupid human race how things really work, but they just like they're too primitive to get you, John. You're just too ahead of your time. Stupid. Well, maybe I need to post more fucking testimonials, but John's lazy. He doesn't want to, hates video editing. Because so many fucking, he has like 10 more late testimonials just during COVID-19 to post right now. I mean, fuck.
Thanks.
What's your secret?
And when I tell you that there's 10 more late testimonials for COVID-19, the reason I'm not posting it is I want to see if you dumb motherfuckers can understand what I'm saying without it. You can't, because you need to worship. You have primitive brains. You need to worship. Stupid. I want to see who gets it, who's enlightened. But very few of you are. You like to waste your money, and this is going to be your last year in game if this COVID-19 continues past 2021 to 2022. It's going to be like a 70% wipeout rate. So mark my words, sometime next year, exactly on December 31st, 2021, remember this video. Remember, I told you so. I fucking told you so. When you're gone, you should have listened to Johnny Elite 30. You should be using that as if life depends on it. You should be trying to change the actions. But no, it's too advanced right now. They've got inner game that shit. You're too gaslighted. RSD was like a tumor that grew, but somehow the tumor has stopped growing. But the tumor is still there. The tumor is still there. So even if I try to educate you with Elite 30, it's like riding a motorcycle. It's simple, but you need the fundamental skills. And without fixing the outer game or learning how to ride a motorcycle, you're just going to keep crashing. No amount of inner game will fix your bad habits. You don't even know what your bad habits are. You're like, this whole fucking industry is like, it's a numbers game or value doesn't matter. What the fuck? But John's not having high vibrational energy. You don't get it. You can see my facial expressions today. I'm not in the best mood. You know, you see some things like this. You see other times like this, other times like this, frustrated, or sometimes like that. But when I talk to women, I'm like happy, fun, carefree, positive vibe. I'm like, you know, connecting. I'm just curious and stuff like that. I'm like, you know, very flirty and stuff. And I could tease if I really, really wanted to. Like, right? And I can switch my emotions perfectly if I really wanted to. And I can be dominant. We're going this way. Come on. Right now. So I can switch the emotions perfectly if I wanted to manipulate you guys outside in. I'm not going to. I'm not going to wear a mask. This is just raw. I'm just speaking to you raw. I'm trying to get this through your fucking head. It's outside in. It's just not clicking. You see, with 2 likes, you're so gaslighted. You're completely manipulated, and they got you good. If you don't listen, you'll be gone next year. You'll be gone. Like John Connor said, you'll be dead. We'll all be dead. That's what he's trying to say. John Connor, if you're not listening, right, everyone will be dead. The Terminator will take over everything. RSD is not intentionally trying to take over things, but their low self-esteem fucking mindset is going to kill everyone. 70% when you be gone, the 30% left will be part of the resistance next year. Do you guys want to be part of the resistance now? Or you want to wait until next year when everyone's gone? Only the most socially calibrated students who follow me into the depths of hell and then kill the fucking Terminators, metaphorically speaking, and getting you guys even more results. The Jewish people, the ones who didn't listen, the dumb ones, they all got slaughtered. The smart ones, they left, they regrouped, they started the IDF, and then they got Israel. And then, do you get my point? You are the next Jews. Not just the Chinese people or Asians for COVID-19. You RSD victims are the next ones in line in the chopping block. It's almost game over for you guys. I'm telling you, that is Judgment Day. You guys aren't listening to me. You guys are not listening. But it's okay. So spikes of attraction ain't gonna do shit. When you're hunching like Todd V when he thinks he's polling, in reality he's just walking her into a cab. Doesn't mean shit unless he's fucking her in the fucking cab, whipping on his dick, right, and escalating. It doesn't really count. Stupid. So he's so proud of himself for doing nothing. That's how low it goes. It's like 2 cab is never a pull. Neither is pouring water on her fucking tits. So if you don't listen now, you will burn and turn into a MGTOW. You will go to engineering school or something. You go back to university. You're going to go and you're going to learn social skills, again, which I'm teaching already. And if you don't get a girlfriend here, you're going to move to Thailand and you're going to have to enjoy the Thailand culture. So next year, 75% or maybe 70% RSD victims will burn out. That's like Darwinism. It's well deserved. You don't want to listen to social skills, social calibrations. You want more game, you know, So more game, John, more game. Well, guess what? You can do game after the pandemic is over. But right now, focus on the skills. There is a lot more fucking. This is what you guys aren't getting. If you focus on the body language, you actually have a lot more value here. If you focus on the flow drill, you combine these together. This natural, real natural, not like, PUA natural. This game style. And in between, you can use a lot less game, a lot less spikes. You can put a few spikes in between here, match them up here. Then you have a lot more. If this is the volume of water, you have a lot more before it goes to the insta-day. A lot more trust and a lot more attraction without doing push-pulls, teases, flirts, self-amusement, touches. Nobody's listening. They just want to go. That's the problem. Why are you not listening? Are you guys so fucking stupid? Like, do you have small brains or something? See, drop off. Yeah, drop off. You won't even be here next year. Don't listen to John. John's always right. I tried to warn you. I mean, because your brain's closed, because you're not worshiping. Right now, you're probably worshiping so much that you're pumping your state and taking massive actions and doing maneuvers on the motorcycle. But you're not finishing a race. You're mentally masturbating, you're going to burn out and become mental. You wipe out of evolutionary psychology because you want to worship. You believe by worshiping, now your brain opens when you're worshiping. You accept everything they say and you do the wrong things. But during COVID-19, it's a very different time. This is a pandemic. It's a very different circumstance. In Daygame, it requires more social skills. It doesn't necessarily mean they use this from Daygame. You can use this from other type of games. And you're worshiping other type of games like Tinder and other shit. I don't even count Tinder as game. It's just a stupid food app. Stupid. You're worshiping Tinder stuff. So what I can say is that inner game for marketing is about 80%. If you want to learn how to do marketing or run your own business, entrepreneur, 80% is inner game. 20% skills, or you get higher to skills. But day game is like 80% outer game and 20% inner game. But inner game only comes after the outer game. Outer game first, all the time. That's the only way you can affect the upward spiral, unless you already have genetic advantages, SMV advantages. And not everyone has a sexual market value advantage. It doesn't always mean height. It could be lifestyle. It could be many different things. It could be race advantage. It could be looks advantage. It could be anything. 20 out of 35. Maybe you already have some genetic advantages. It's easier. So yeah, that was just one student I've been analyzing for the infields. I have another student over here. That's a German student. So let's see, where is he? I had another student over here, Vietnamese student, analyzing a stupid infield.
This is pandemic. So, but actually, what I look like without a mask.
Yeah, so what you look like without a mask. He thought he was doing so fucking good. In his fucking mind that he was a master of Daygame, he's finally raised his self-esteem and lower his ego and can listen to the women. Not really well. And he's like, John, master social skills. This Vietnamese student. You haven't mastered shit. Outside in, it's still shit. It goes super fast. They all sound the fucking same. All of the students sounds exactly the same to me. And that's the problem. That's the problem. And then when I listened to this infield from this older German student, hopefully there's not like identifiable information in here. It goes faster and faster.
Und dann geht es darum, bestimmte Sachen zu klären. Und lange Geschichte. Es ist aus bestimmten Gründen viel Gewühle.
He's talking way too fucking fast, and he felt like he was very calm and flirting a lot. He's not doing it properly. So body language is the most important. Not only, it's not just Daygame, it's everything in your life. If you don't have a good body language, your state of mind will be shit. Even if you practice standing up straight at home and you're smiling or something, you'd be less depressed and less fucked up. When you like that, you take more action in life. And the tonality will sound more correct. You'll sound way more correct. If you start hunching like this and you start talking, you sound very unconfident. But when you talk like this, right, you sound happier and you sound more confident. You see that? So the body language can affect to put you into an empowered state of mind rather than a disempowered state of mind. Body language is the most important in the alpha male in terms of a tribe leader. You need to have a good body language. And my students, when they learn this, they can use it towards their job. They get promoted all the time. And then they make more and more money. They don't even know they're using Elite 30. Don't you guys get it? It's everything. Outside in, get the body language down first. And then the social skills will make sense. When you're asking the questions and you're being curious with the body language and the facial expressions, then you hit the right states and the right words changes. Don't you get it? When you're listening to active listening, yes. When you actively listen, you can retain more keywords because of the body language. Don't you guys get it? And the confidence in your body language can make your tonality sound so much more confident. When you talk to her, she can hear it. Don't you get it? Don't you get it? It's all fucking outside in. Body language, outer game first. Eureka. It's like fucking going to MMA match. It's like, John, same fucking question. Should I learn how to throw proper punches and block first and maneuver and block kicks and how to kick? Of course you should. He's not inner gaming that shit. You're not just throwing incorrect techniques. You're like, oh, this is a mind fuck. Like, it's like, oh, John, I'm riding a motorcycle. It's like the same fucking question. So body language or so is learning the fundamentals the most important, John? Yes. What the fuck does inner gaming before riding a motorcycle has to do with anything? It's just taking massive action and massive crashes. Should I get Elite 30 from Arcade to Hero or the more, oh, you fucking idiot, more advanced part? I got laid once through Daygame, a few dates, and approach over 1,000 sets. My SMV is quite low. Can you please watch the last video talking about overcomplicated what you think is advanced? Because I remember some fucking asshole through the email was saying, oh, Elite 30 does not look advanced. Don't you get it? If Elite 30 has over 200 fucking lay testimonials, and that's like 200 more than Charisma King, and that's like 100 more than Todd Valentine already just for one product. Actually, he only has one lay testimonial for his product, so that's like 200 times more. If it already that much, what's more advanced? Elite 30 is probably more advanced than any game tactic out there, you dumb fucks. You don't get it. You see that? You're so gaslighted. This is hard to do. It's like learning how to ride a motorcycle. You say, oh, it's just the fundamental basics. Please watch my last video about RSD victims overcomplicating shit, you dumb fuck. Holy shit. You guys couldn't even, you guys are all gaslighted. You're all fucked. All of you. You guys are so fucking stupid. Like, the smaller brain you have, the less you know. You have shallow thinking. The people who are RSD victims, autistic, they always look at the surface level, like the Bible. They read the Bible. They don't listen to the meaning. They don't have the depth. I'm trying to communicate this. You guys aren't fucking getting us. How do I get this to your dumb fucking brains that instead of being offended, that you guys have such shallow thinking? Rather than having multiple levels, it's like a glacier. You guys only see the surface level. You don't see the big motherfucking glacier underneath. Oh, John's not speaking like he has positive vibrational. It doesn't have anything to do with that. I'm trying to speak about a very important message. You guys are about to be burnt out and you don't know it. I'm trying to fucking save you. I'm trying to warn you. John's always right. Every single few years, John, everything he says is prophecy. What I'm speaking is going to be 3 years in advance when you realize that 70% of you burn out by next year. The 30% are going to be left. All of you mastering Elite 30 in the flow drills. You're just on borrowed time right now. You don't realize it. You're stepping on quicksand. This is Judgment Day, guys. My students already got laid. You're here to be judged. You want to dismiss this? And you want to think overcomplicate shit? When you're on the motorcycle, do you want to learn overcomplicated RSD maneuvers and mental masturbation? That's the problem, because you're all looking for positive reactions. Because you're so autistic, you need to feel that you're doing something. Even though a lot of these guys, when they're over-escalating in their fucking infields and they're giving validation nonstop, they're not getting laid. They're not even pulling. They're not, like, nothing happens. You just feel good because it looks good in front of the camera. And that's why I try to explain to the Chinese guy. when he kept getting validation. He's like, what's going on? It's like, oh, he's just feeling good, making her, validating her. It's so fucking stupid, man. Oh my God. These people are stupid. How do I get through to them? Dear God, if there is God, I'm trying to communicate to these dumb fucking sheeps. I don't want to swear, but I'm trying to get this message through to them. Is not penetrating their brain. They're gaslighted. They're worshipping. Can you please enlighten these people? Because it's important. If they don't listen to me, they will all die. Thank you. Amen. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. It's really important that you learn. I may never get through to you with this message, but just know I planted a seed. I planted a seed. Okay, is there any things that are unclear? I can answer them outside in. Ask away, because I'm going to leave exactly 1 hour. It's 50 minutes in. I'll answer every fucking question about outside in, outer game first, instead of inner game. And then when you max out, usually around the 3rd day of my boot camp, and they cannot get any better, then they switch over to inner game. But they always switch back to outer game afterwards. The inner game is handled. 80-20, 80% outer game, 20% inner game. Back to 80, back to 20. You never ever start first. Let me ask you guys a question so you can open up your mind. Instead of me telling you something, let me ask you a question. For this chart, potential, actions, results, and your belief you form from it. What happens if you have bad habits for actions? That's a better question to ask yourself. What happens when you inner game that shit like RSD, but your actions are shit? What happens? You get rejected nonstop. So you gotta start escalating harder and feeling like you're doing something. And just because you're getting positive reactions doesn't mean you're getting positive compliance. Because in this case, as this guy is escalating.
Thank you. So, what's your name, by the way? Okay. Wow. So you don't look like you're a firefighter. You're like number 2 lane for that. Yeah. Yeah.
So he's just basically escalating like crazy. He's just giving validation because this is what happens when you're RSD victim or when you're autistic as shit.
Can I call you?
I had permission to actually post a little bit of this, so the student allows me. Why won't you admit looks matter? What are you talking about? What do you mean looks matter? Most of my students are not good looking, but they dress like they're good looking. They're like 4 out of 10s or 5. But then when they dress better and they have better hairstyles, they start to look like 7 out of 10. So yeah, it does matter. But it's not the only thing. Looks is not the only thing. Why do you scam people? I don't know what you're trying to say. Get the fuck off my channel. This is stupid. Like, what are you talking about? Scamming people? Scamming people. Looks is not the only thing that matters, you fucking idiot. Get off my fucking channel. Because these fucking people, all about looks is all about looks. It's because they're autistic. They have no body language. They have no social skills. They're so stupid. Fuck you. If it's all about looks, right, then you can just go in there with shitty body language and get results, but you guys can't. So go fuck yourselves. Get off my fucking channel. I'm going to start attacking these it's all looks bullshit. So that's the next video. I'm going to show you all my students. I'm going to rate them out of 10 down to the decimal points. I know exactly how every student looks like. How about that? Maybe the next video. Let's debunk this looks theory once and for all for the whole world. There are some students I have that are actual physical male models and actors. So I do have students that are around like 9 out of 10 in looks. There's only like 4 of them like that. That are model quality. The rest of them, I hate to say it, you're just taller and you look like dog shit. It's because they have no facial expression, so girls think they're autistic. It's not that. They're also kind of weird because they're also very pissed off and they have too much cortisol in their system. So they go up to the girl, they're hunching like crazy, so they're not building the attraction. And because they lack the social skills, they're not building the trust. No matter how good looking you are, I have students that are very good looking, but they're autistic. They're better looking than most of you guys. Better looking than dating coaches. I have students like that. But because their autism is so high, their looks are disqualified. So you have to fix this too first. And what happens with the looks? Once the body language is fixed and once the social skills is fixed, yes, their looks becomes a force multiplier. They'll get even more results once these two are fixed. Do you understand that? So yes, that looks do not matter if you don't have this fixed. But when you have this fixed, you get like fucking 3 times the results. But really, for the students, my good-looking students, and plus my ugly, tall students are bald and have no hair, they have exactly the same amount of lays on the boot camp, 3 lays and 1 blowjob. So how do you explain that? Is it really looks? No, it's really height and race, you dumb fucks. Looks is important, but that's only if you're getting a woman below your look scale on Tinder. That's not game. That's just called SMVing it. So if you're talking about looks and you're better looking than the girl, that's not game. I don't know what the fuck that is. That's not what I'm teaching here. Most of my students during COVID-19, a lot of them, are getting women way above the look scale. So if you try to say shit like, oh yeah, they're just getting below no, they're not. There's so many students that have model girlfriends, you dumb fucks. One of my students is about to propose to another Latina, good looking too. And there's like so many students getting women above their look scale because they mastered this. But nobody wants to listen to that. It's just all looks this, all looks that. Stupid. Blame your autism in the cortisol. Women do, if you're good looking and you're fucked up, then it's something to do with cortisol. Women in evolutionary psychology, they see cortisol traits like that, and you get really, really scared and fucked up and freezing up and hunching, they'll assume you're autistic and they'll be scared because they don't want to pass on the genetics. High cortisol equals low survival value for women regardless of looks. 100% correct. You understand that? So you got to fix the outside in. You're trying to hide the autism. This is called autism reduction here. You see that? By fixing the body language from Elite 30, by fixing the social skills, you are hiding the autism. Autism reduction is, I'm going to introduce you a new concept, which I was going to introduce in the future. This is called autism reduction. And this is why, by going in this pattern, even if you increase your looks further, my students do that, it's just not enough because it's 20 out of 35. If your looks is like 8 out of 10, hypothetically speaking, and your race is like white, you just need a game of 2 out of 10. But if you're autistic and you dress like a poor fuck, you might not even have enough social skills to pass 2 out of 10 or 2 out of 20, like 2 there to make 20. You understand that? Even if you're white and you're tall, you're good looking, but if your social skills is 0 or 0.5 and your body language is 0 and you're hunching and your emotions are fucked, right? And your game is shit, you might not even pass the threshold. This is why Todd Valentine, even though he's like 6 out of 10 in looks or whatever, he's just not above the line. He's just not above the line. His game is shit. He has no body language. He's 0 body language. Now he's trying to tell people to be more natural, and once in a while you use game shit. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. RSD Max. Oh, but Max is good looking. Oh, RSD Max is so... Max has no fucking same daylight infields. This guy sucks shit. He's in Odessa in Ukraine, That fucking suka bilit, piece of shit motherfucker. Doesn't know shit about Daygame. Natural my fucking ass. Look at him. He's short. He has not enough fucking value, even though he's white. He just has no fucking skills. He has no body language and he has no fucking social skills. It's just not enough to get over that line. It'll be more better if you don't you get it, guys? Don't you guys get it? I think people are looking for easy tricks. That's why they're interested. The reason why they're looking for the easy way is because with autism, let me put this closer, okay? I think it's better this way. Point this at me. It's a corduroy. The reason why they're going for like the shortcut is because when they're autistic, and I fail 85% of the class, it feels like game is easier. It feels like it's like a diet. Okay, this is how I explain. Outer game, it's like a diet. Everyone wants the next fad diet. Everyone wants the shortcut. Game feels like the shortcut because they cannot learn the skills here. It feels like it's too hard on the autistic brain. And in the middle of the brain, between the two hemispheres, we have something called a capus callosum or something like that. That left and right signal is weak. The interconnection signal. That's why in their neural pathways, they could not build the skill set because they're autistic. The autistic people are quitting Daygame. You guys understand? I'm trying to warn you. that if you don't focus on skills and you're like, John, these people are autistic, they'll never get it. You don't understand. They'll eventually get it. Even if they have to take the long cut, that feels like the long cut this way is actually the shortcut. I'll say this again. This way feels like 30-day challenge. Listen, RSD victims can spend 6 years in a row spam approaching with bad habits. You think it's better to spend 30 days correcting the shit and becoming a testimonial? Or you think it's better to fucking spend 3 fucking years or 6 years? Huh? Which one's the shorter cut? Oh, but there's 30 days. 30 days versus 3 fucking years, you dumb fucking idiots. How did I make this even clearer? Like, seriously. I think they're just too nervous to approach this. It's not about that. I mean, sure, they may be nervous, but if they don't get some kind of... That's why they keep looking for positive reactions. When they start to do it my way, they start getting insta days. They start walking with women. They start having a little bit of success. They start pulling back women home very quickly. Then they start to believe in themselves. You see that? Then the belief changes. You see that? Actions, insta date polls, believe in themselves. Again, after a third, lay. Simple. But they just don't want to go through this shit because they feel like 30 days, right? I don't want to spend... You got to put some work into it. You think Kobe Bryant's good out of nowhere? You think he puts no fucking work into this thing? He's working on calibrate things over and over. Kobe Bryant is practicing all the time, but the most calibrated way. His actions give him more results, and more results equals changing his belief. But if you guys keep trying to look for every basketball shortcut, every maneuver, without working on the fundamentals over and over again, you are fucked. You're facing her. You're giving validation. What do you mean by autistic people? Hard cases in general, or people who are brainwashed by RSD have... I'm new to this channel, interested to know. You seem to talk... a lot of the RSD victims... I have a lot of RSD victim students, and most of them are autistic. That's why they go to RSD. The reason why they go to RSD is because for RSD, it appeals to the people who want the shortcuts. So for them, they love gamey tactics. They love to inner game that shit. They want to feel enough. Most of them are autistic. So they love to spam approach. All of the RSD mindsets are all about spam approaching for RSD. Does that make sense? So to them, they're always looking for the shortcut because they're lazy, because of their high ego and low self-esteem. So therefore, they always have the first trait, which is delusions. Does that make sense? And number 2 is the skillless spam approaching. Number 3 is they always go to the wrong path, the sociopath. It always fails them in 4 months. So after they fail 3 times, that's 1 year out of their life. This is why their 20s to 30s vaporized in a short amount of time. And number 4, they become cowards. They quit the game. And this is what I don't want to see. So what I'm saying during COVID-19 is a lot of these people that are dismissing Elite 30 is because they want the game stuff. They want the shortcuts. What I'm trying to tell them is if they work on the body language here, they'll build the attraction throughout the thing if they have all 30 pieces calibrated through their neural pathways, even if they're slow learners. And then when they get the social skills, they get this consistent trust to the insta-date. So it'll build up like this instead of spiking it like here. Hope that makes sense. But they rather spike it because they want to go for positive reactions. They don't get positive compliance. They don't know that their autism is actually making it harder for them because they're doing this inside out shit. Most RSD victims are highly, highly, highly autistic. That's why they love it. They're delusional. And whenever you start listening to binaural beats about self-esteem, you raise the self-esteem, you lower the ego. What I'm saying makes more sense. Hope that makes sense. Elite 30 is super. It is the most important thing. You got to look at all the testimonials. What do they have in common? Elite 30 is the only thing that's making Asian men get laid. Their game stuff is that some Asian men do not have enough value unless they're super strong or tall or good looking or 1 in a 3, right? Then they can use the game and SMV it, but that's a very small 1%. The Asian men have to build skills. This is why other people do not have short Asian late testimonials. They always have this tall token 5'10" Asian for Daygame or something. Or, you know, they might have a random short Asian here or there, but for me, it's just nothing but short Asians and below 5'9". You gotta wonder what are they doing that's disrupting this entire pattern? You guys are not getting this. Without this thing, right? Social skills here, social calibrations. Without mastering the top half during lockdown number 3 over here, you will not stand much of a chance, guys. I'm trying to spell it out for you. I don't know how to say it any clearer. I'm trying to tell you guys the truth. I don't feel like spinning. It's not about the money. I don't give a shit. Use your Skypes. Get Elite 30, do the 30-day challenge. The only difference between you and my old students is the old students have this in their neural pathways. It's like riding a bike. They can come back to it with a few tips here and there. They can ride the bike again because they have it in their neural pathways. It takes 21 days to build a habit, guys. 21 days minimum without skipping days in between. Why do you think my students are so good before? And why they keep getting one lay after another? They're just building on top of the foundation that they already built outside in. Can I be any more clear? That's the only reason why they're beating you. My old students, right now, some of them are taking a break after they get delays, but they can go back in the field anytime and get more and more again because they have it in their neural pathways. You guys are a little bit afraid because there's a pandemic out there. You are not taking as much action. You're not even practicing at home to make up the difference in trying to change the habits. It takes 21 days to get your neural pathways. And for the neural pathways, you have to understand how the brain works. So if you look at the neural pathways, and this is what I'm trying to get through to you, I'm going to show you a video. I really hope this makes sense. Neural pathway. So this is going to show you a demonstration neural. I'll move this a little bit to the side. I really hope I can get through to you guys. Neural pathway example. In habits. If all the times when I need this fucking video, it doesn't show up. Okay, watch this.
What's going on in the brain when you learn? In order to learn anything, whether it's math, a foreign language, guitar, or how to dribble a basketball, you need to create and strengthen pathways in your brain. Think about shooting a free throw. Know that feeling when you've got it down and don't even have to think about it? That's muscle memory. Here's the thing. Muscle memory lives in the brain, not the muscles. Your brain controls everything.
What do you mean semen retention? I don't even know what the fuck you're trying to say. Don't pigeonhole me.
Muscles do, and it does this by activating specific neural pathways for each and every movement. These are functional pathways, neurons working together to achieve a goal. Say you're learning how to shoot a free throw. If it's your first time doing it, you don't yet have a pathway for that movement in your brain. You need to create it.
See, so they're saying you got to plant the seed in your brain in order to shoot the basketball. Does that make sense? That means you just can't shoot the basketball. This is why RSD victims are impatient and they just automatically want to be so good without any sort of skill set.
Let's use an analogy to look at what's happening in the brain during this time. When you're first learning, your brain is like a forest full of trees and dense foliage, with no clear pathway between point A and point B. As you learn the mechanics of shooting a free throw, you create a trail through the forest. Now you
see that? So basically it's like a forest with a trail like that. You see that? You pushing the trees aside. That's when the first 10 days of Elite 30 of the 21 days.
Shoot the free throw because you've created that pathway in your brain. But you probably don't make many shots because it's so new. The pathway isn't very clear yet. In order to improve your free throw, you need to refine and strengthen the free throw pathway.
It's called the neuroscience of learning. The neuroscience of learning. So this is about neural pathways. When I, John Elite, talk about stuff, I'm talking about it from a scientific point of view. I'm not speaking about theories. I'm not RSD Todd. I do not speak theories. I'm not the other dating coaches. Everything I say can be backed up by neuroscience, evolutionary psychology, and everything. When I'm talking about skill building, all this stuff, it's like the way the army teaches it, all this stuff. They all follow psychology and science. You guys are not getting it. You guys are not getting it.
In your brain. The way you do that is through practice. Practice gradually widens the trail through the trees.
And the problem with the practice is that RSD victims, every single time they start spam approaching with bad body language, what they're doing is they're building bad neural pathways. They're building the wrong trees. So that therefore, the longer you spam approach inside out, the more you're stuck with the bad trees. Now you have to burn down the fucking forest by rebuilding new neural pathways. Elite 30 is the only way out of it. And that's what I'm trying to get through to you people. How do you practice at home and make up the difference in action in the field? I haven't been able to leave the house too often. I'm a caregiver. I think that's a very good question. So for you, you want to get a mirror, okay? You want to get a mirror from Walmart for $30. and it's a tall mirror, and you're a taller guy, I believe. So what happens is you want to tilt the mirror a little bit on the wall so you can see the entire body. You can step further away from it. Now you're getting some kind of feedback. You can see when you're hunching. When you're practicing, maybe standing up straight in Elite 30, right? 45 degrees, you might be hunching your neck forward. And now you can correct it. And you don't have to use lines and stuff. You can use the word blah, 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 blah. Slow it down, blah, blah. So you can only work you can work on talking in building the neural pathways to building up that spine. You know what I mean? That you're standing correctly. So you work on this for all day. You can spend close to like 10 hours in a row. One student that's Middle Eastern, and you guys will see all the testimonials in the future. When I talk about my student results, there's 10 more late testimonials in a row for COVID-19 lockdown 3. I'm not exaggerating. I don't exaggerate my student results to any degree. I never did. I always deliver what I say. 10 more. So knock the whole fucking industry out. When I drop it, each of them are gonna be like nukes in this industry. You guys have the whole industry doesn't understand. So that's how you practice. And you can even record yourself, just like Elite 30, Module 4. You can record yourself and gradually look at the recording and try and make the next one better and closer to what I'm teaching. So that way you can still level up without actually going out there. And then when you do go out there, it becomes easier. That Middle Eastern student, he spent 10 hours practicing at home, and he practiced 2 hours in his social circle with female friends. In the last few hours, he practiced it out there for Daygame, and he went to sleep. Next day, he wakes up, practiced 10 hours day 2. You understand? It's all about neural pathways. Ashwagandha is very important as well, because ashwagandha can reduce the cortisol. So that way, it's autism reduction. It calms you down a lot. It's very important. But that's just emotions. Without working on the social skills and social calibrations, this is not enough. Thank you for the detailed explanation. I followed RSD, but I quit a long time ago. When I finally saw through the nonsense, I try to make up the wasted time and seek a legit method. Elite 30 is the best method right now, by far. And these days, during lockdown 1, Elite 30 was enough. Lockdown number 2, Elite 30, and just a little bit of social skills, just for trust is enough. Lockdown 3, unfortunately, now you guys have to master 2 of these. You have to master the social skill flow drill, and you have to master the body language. Like I said, the world is not fair. And anything out there that you try to do like RSD shit, and you try to take massive action with bad habits, you're going to die. So let's talk about this.
Turning it into a dirt road between A and B. You're starting to get pretty good now. You're making more free throws than not. You don't have to think about the mechanics as much. That's because the pathway gets stronger after each.
So he's saying this neural pathway gets stronger over and over as you practice more.
Practice rep. And you've done a lot of reps. With even more practice, the dirt road turns into a paved road connecting A and B.
So he's saying that because you practice so much, this dirt road that was separating the forest now becomes an actual road. Does he see that? An actual road from A to B. So it changes. So whenever I talk about unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence to conscious competence and unconscious competence, you can either do it the correct way, Elite 30, or you can do it the RSD way, which you're reinforcing bad habits. So that means practice does not make perfect, guys. It's like riding a motorcycle and crashing over and over. Practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. You got to make the free throws. You got to get it correctly done, because you're building the neural pathways whether you like it or not. So if you're doing the RSD way, you have no chance whatsoever. My students, they'll curb stomp you, all of you in the whole industry. They're even better than the other dating coaches, some of my students. By far, the other dating coaches don't even stand a chance. You see a student getting 10 fuck buddies, 11 lace, 2 models, 1 5-some during Daygame. Like, what the fuck? And he's with his model girlfriend still, because he worked on the neural pathways. He spent so much time mastering Elite 30 until he was stuck. And then he started working on the social skills. You get it? He got this first same day lay through Elite 30, but he was still spam approaching. And then he got 3 Skypes and he worked on the social skills. Don't you guys get it? And plus being tall and white, he was not good looking, as much as they say. He's very autistic. He learned how to reduce the autism with ashwagandha, and he kept working on the social skills. Then finally, all that race, and he has a cool second job, all that status, all that race, all that skills was way over the line. He just kept getting laid nonstop. Yeah, I get it. Tall and white, not good looking. Around like 5 out of 10. It's not to offend the student, but maybe a 6 out of 10 afterwards by making him work out a little bit. His face structure changed. He was looking very old. Now he's looking younger. Every lay, he was about to commit suicide. He was looking like 10 or 15 years older than his real age. And he started looking younger and younger, like the time was going backwards. So you guys get what I'm saying? The only reason why he got 10 fuck buddies and 2 models and a 5-some is because of this. He had to spend the time to build a forest. Thank you for... Eventually, I want 7 wives like King David. How will you manage multiple wives? Think about it this way. If you're too busy worrying about, like, you got to be careful of your brain. I have other black students before that they're always thinking about stuff like that. If you're too busy thinking about that, you become the narcissistic sociopath. What I mean by that is all you think about is money and power and stuff like that. It can corrupt you. That means you got a spiritual IQ, you got emotional IQ, and you also have a IQ in terms of delusions or not. This can fuck up all 3 of them and make your brain very dangerous. And this could slow down the results. If you want to get the results, I suggest not being like so ambitious by conquering one thing at a time. You can't expect to win every battle like that until you can actually win every battle like that. That white student can probably get what you want, 3 wives, whatever. That's fine. But you have to work at one thing at a time. You got to clear one forest area at a time. You got to build these neural pathways. RSD has, imagine 6 to 8 years of bad neural pathways is no way to victory. And people that bought Elite 30, for example, some of you are not using it. You're just dabbling. This is a field manual. This is a military field manual of absolutely skillful, like pussy destruction. This is not a theory. This is a 30-day challenge reducing autism. So I know you hate online game, but do you advocate staying away from it? Fuck online game. Because you think that you're going to be swiping for a few hours online. It's not 30 minutes. That few hours, you could be leveling up with Elite 30. You have a point. 1 woman at a time. 1 skill at a time. 1 small victory at a time. Small victories equals a big public victory. Whenever you see my students, before they get to be a testimonial and get late and stuff, sometimes I post small victories, like they're getting more dates here, right? And they're polling more. Sometimes the small things, small victories lead to a big public victory. It's like a seed. You got to plant the seed. You got to germinate it. You got to work really hard during a 30-day challenge. It takes 21 days to get this neural pathway. After that, then it starts to sprout off the ground. When it sprouts off the ground, then you see the big tree growing. But before the big tree grows, you must work on the neural pathways and the skills. Unfortunately, a lot of people are calling game skills flowchart skills. That is not a skill. That's just a memorization. It only filters up white students in most cases for Tinder. I don't give a fuck about Tinder. It is taking away your ability to work on your social skills and body language. So I finished Elite 30. We should just keep watching. Don't keep watching it over and over. You get that fucking mirror from Walmart. You practice at home 1 day at a time. It's like drilling for oil. It's like learning a jump shot. You drill for oil until you reach the fucking oil. So if we were to score day 1, right, out of 10, I bet your Elite 30 may only be like 1 or 2 out of 10. So maybe you could stick on those days that you really suck at, do them over and over and over and over and over until you get it down. You got to drill for the oil. You have to win the neural pathways. Let's continue listening to this video.
Allowing information to be transmitted at a faster rate. Now you're a 70% free throw shooter, and when you step up to the line, you don't even have to think about it. Eventually, with enough practice, what started as a trail has become a full-blown highway. Now you're...
So basically what he's saying...
And when you step up to the line, you don't even have to think about it. Eventually, with enough practice...
So he's saying that with enough practice, and it becomes conscious competence. Now it's like 2 highways. You see that? Instead of 1. It becomes more solidified. Exactly what I'm saying about conscious competence. So I will keep practicing Elite 30 until you get the results you're looking for, because that's a perfect formula. You understand? all you should be practicing is over and over Elite 30 until you get the results. You might not even be doing it correctly, so you need to keep practicing over and over. You keep practicing until you get what you want. That's what the other London student did. You can all follow his footsteps. All he did was practice Elite 30. And most of the Asian students, I don't allow them to use the Elite playbook first. They have to master Elite 30. I'm going to tell you something that you guys don't want to hear. That Vietnamese student that sounded like, he skipped right over to the Elite playbook trying to learn the lines. Because when they're autistic, they cannot learn the social skills. They have to learn the lines. That's why they love to learn the lines, because they're autistic. They don't have the skills. They want the shortcut. This is not a shortcut. He actually hurt himself developing the neural pathways of Elite 30. He put himself back trying to learn the goddamn lines. You should work on the foundation first. There is no lines in Elite 30. There's maybe an opener, but you don't have to follow exact lines. It's just the algorithms. Stop skipping ahead. It's like trying to learn how to do takedowns and throws and stuff like that. And strategy, when you haven't mastered the basic punch, master the right punch first. Don't you guys get it? Master the right punch over and over. Drill for oil. Drill for oil. Master the right punch. What do I do again? I master the right punch. Well, step backwards in right punch, right? Correct body language. Okay, what happens after that? Step forward in right punch. Parry in right punch. Get your head out of the way, right punch. Right punch, right? Just eat, sleep, right punch. Drill for oil. You have a point. Do you think porn is slowing down people's progress? Yeah, I definitely do think porn is slowing down people's progress. Just no fap or something. Go out there, and if you approach, then you're allowed to fap as a reward. Hope that makes sense. But before that, use that to get yourself out there. So all your students get girls way above their look scale. Not all of them. Sometimes the first lay is not like above the look scale. It's equal or below. Second lay, third lay, fourth, and it gets higher and higher. So that's what usually happens. So not all the time, but a lot during the COVID-19, they may get even way above. Some students get way, way, way above. So mostly it seems like height matters and race matters to get the hottest women. It's not the looks. I have some really ugly looking students. I hate to tell you this, but some of them just aren't good looking. But they're getting super hot women. They're getting models and stuff. The ones who are getting models are not always the best looking ones. They're usually the tallest ones. I hate to say it. I don't know what else to tell you because it's a value system. It's evolutionary psychology, protector status, pre-selection, height, protector status, replication value. Hate to say it. I hate to say it. What happens when they dress like my students? They dress really well. They dress rich. They dress their own tribe. Well, guess what? That raises their money too, the survival value. I don't know what else to say. You guys don't want to listen. You want to think it's all looks, and I'm deceiving you by saying it's not all looks. No, I'm just saying it's autism reduction. This is autism reduction right here.
Just what started as a trail has become a full-blown highway. Now you're a master, draining almost every free throw, and the movement is completely second nature.
Unconscious.
Scientists call this plasticity, and it's your brain's innate ability to create.
So he says it's called plasticity when the brain changes. It's actually called neuroplasticity. According to neuroscience, your brain, even if you get older, is still very plastic. It can still change. It can still learn new neural pathways as you age. Use it or lose it. So why is drilling not like spam approaching in both? Because when you're drilling something down, you're focused on a specific skill, on a very specific skill set. You are not just, the problem is that imagine I was going to an MMA fight, okay? I'll show you what it looks like. I better take off the Rolex because this can damage the Rolex. I had this repaired before after throwing a few punches. It cost me hundreds of dollars to fix this fucking thing. So, all right. If you're in a fight, for example, right? If you're in a fight and you're spam approaching, what you're doing is that you're walking the fight, you have to do all this stuff. You see what I mean? You have to do this, parry, block, hit, right? Kick, kicking the balls, knee. You have to do all this stuff. You see that? This is why they call it jack of all trades and master of none. You can't really do all this, right? It's really hard to do all this stuff, right? But why can I do that? Because I had mastered one at a time. You see that? Because I was in Krav Maga. I could do all this stuff. I've been trained in this. I've been trained in it. But you guys walking like this, you'd be doing it all wrong. You'd be swinging wrong, you get knocked out. You'd be uppercutting too wide, you get hit in the face. You'd be trying to grab them, they'll knock you the fuck out. You see that? Because you're working on too many fucking skills at once. The jack of all trades and master of none. Every single time I do something, somebody's grabbing me by the neck here. See that? Pluck the hand to the side, kicking the balls. It's the same every single fucking time. It's the same because it's drilled down. 5 years of this shit. 5 years. Every single day. It's exactly the same thing. They try to grab me by the throat. Even one hand. Push away. Every single time, same thing. See it? Because it's a neural pathway. Even from behind. So they try to push me from behind, try to grab my neck. Same thing. Why is it exactly the same thing? Because you drilled it down one at a time. See that? It's the same fucking thing every single time. Even if they push me. So they push me in the neck. Same thing every single time. I don't think about it. Same thing every single time. Push me on the neck, right? Trap their hands. So you see that? You guys cannot do all this other stuff because there's just too many. You're just too many. So you got to work at one skill at a time. That's the problem. I could do all this all day. Every single fucking thing. How do I remember all this? Bear hug. A guy bear hugs me like this. Right? You push here, you step back, out here, and knee him in the balls. Every single time. Every single time, exactly the same. It's instinct. Because it's drilled down. See that? It's automatic. Even a bear hug from behind. So they grab me over here. I duck down, elbow, 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 grab frame, knee him in the face, knee him in the ribs. Every single time. Push away. It's all habit. See that? A little bit out of shape, but it's been so many years, but I can still do it. Why are you short and good looking? The taller guy is ugly and more likely to get girl? Yeah. Unfortunately. The taller guy will have the advantage if they're about 5'9". That's the truth. The other guy will take more approaches without my training, but it really depends. But the taller guy will have the advantage. I hate to say that. Protector status matters a lot in Daygame. If you don't have it, you'll be either mentally masturbating or you need excessive amount of skill. What happens if someone's waiting for marriage? In what way would they be able to use your program? I have students that are actually engaged right now. They're going to pop the question around next week. They're still using my program because they potentially still want to learn the skills to cheat on her. Hope that makes sense. They want to learn the skills to cheat on her. So they're still using it. So they're still learning all this stuff. And they still can get their infield analysis. Hope that makes sense. So 1 second, I'll be back. Yeah, still a little bit out of shape, but at least I can still do this stuff. So are you guys seeing that? The neural pathways do matter. The neural pathways do matter.
And strengthen connections between neurons. These connections are the path through the forest. Halo Sport optimizes this process by temporarily increasing plasticity in the part of your brain that controls movement, so that your brain can create and strengthen these pathways.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of strange how after all these years, right, I can still do all this stuff. Even for weapon disarming, for example, I still remember every single one of them without remembering it. It just does automatically. Every single time I do exactly automatically too. So do you guys see this? If you're going to go into a fight or a combat situation or a self-defense situation or a military situation where your enemy can ambush you and try to kill you, would you rather be confident in yourself, like RSD victims, in getting killed in the process, stabbed in the gut, and ambushed? Or would you rather be competent in a simple martial art like Krav Maga or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mixed, right? Would you rather be competent in that because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is used by the United States Army, Krav Maga is used by Marines, Navy SEALs, Israeli Army? Wouldn't it be good to mix those together? Simple martial arts, their combative program is just 36 moves for Jiu-Jitsu, which I'm retraining in. Although I've learned the Krav Maga version of ground fighting, I want to update, so that's why I'm retraining in. But don't you get it? Would you rather learn the basics, which saves your life, or you rather mentally masturbate and try and kick the knife right out of the fucking hand? It's very simple, guys. I'm trying to make a very important point. Nobody's getting it. Any more questions before I go? Because I feel like, you know, I'm trying to make such an important point. Would you rather be competent or confident? Would you rather intergame that shit and hoping that somebody doesn't try to kill you and you just swing wildly? And only 1% of the people with SMB, with a genetic advantage, can knock out their attacker. Or would you rather train in a skill set that can save your life? A survival skill set, Elite 30, from hard case to hero. And the ones who have Elite 30, why are you not drilling it? Don't you see? In martial arts, every technique is drilled down in Krav Maga for around 15 minutes. I do this over and over, and instructors correct me over and over and over. So we just keep drilling over and over. We might drill it in 15 minutes. We might do it over like 70 times in a row, over and over and over. Does that make sense? So over the months, right, we'll be coming back to the same techniques a couple of times, drilling over and over the basics, over and over, over and over. So when you're sparring out there, right, when you're out there and you're fighting and stuff like that, wouldn't you rather have like a few good moves, a few good elbows, a few good right crosses, a few good kicks, body language, like, you know, blocks? Or would you rather just go out there and just swing wildly and leave yourself open like RSD victims? So you're saying, how is that like different, right? Elite 30. You're drilling one move at a time, 15 minutes at a time, just like Krav Maga. Does that make sense? Over and over, as many times as possible, and instructors correct you. Of course, you guys do not have me there to correct you, but people, some of the people out there are not using their Skypes. They're dismissing it. They're just getting the product. They're seeing from their own mental filter, their own dumb mental filter. So, sorry, I don't feel so good today. But however, I hope I'm making my point here very clear. Do you want the basics, or you just want to feel good? Do you want confidence? Do you want competence? Do you want to crash, or do you actually want to survive? This is the difference, Elite 30, from hard case to hero. It is the most powerful system in the world that's ever been created. And it's not even about game. Stop looking for the shortcut. The shortcut is the long cut. The long cut is the shortcut. I'll say this again. The shortcut is the long cut. The long cut is the shortcut. It is much shorter to work on this. In the second part of the brain I'm talking about, just to reference it, corpusum calcium. Just to make sure I'm not just making up shit, that this is all neuroscience. Corpus calcium functions. So there is a part of the brain over here. I'll show you. In neuroscience, right here. See that? This green part is right in between the two brains. Corpus callosum is what autistic people have, that very weak interconnection signal between the left and right brain. This is why it's so hard for autistic people to learn new skills. That's why they have a dual core brain. This is why I want you to work at one skill at a time in the mirror. One skill. Because they have too many different, like they're too weak of a signal. If they try to learn more than two things, it fries up the corpus callosum. Right? Yes, I've never used the Skypes because I haven't been able to go out. That's the problem, that you're scared to use the Skypes. I would say sacrifice the pawn in chess just to find out what your mistakes are. Or just use Elite Access, in case you're scared using the Skypes. Sacrifice one in the Skypes, because that's the only way to know what your mistakes are. Because right now you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you're weak at. So if you got the products, then you got to think to yourself, where are you weak at and what can you improve? So sacrifice one so the other three are strengthened, because you'll be building bad habits if you don't use it. So that's why I recommend. So corpus callosum autism, just to make sure I'm not making up bullshit. So spectrumnews.org. So spectrum means like spectrum of autism. So according to them, the corpusum callosum, a thick bundle of nerve fibers that links the brain's left and right hemisphere, develop differently in children with autism. A 9-year-old study has found that findings on March 11th in molecular autism provide clues to the pathology of autism. They are in line with the desperate data indicating that people with autism has a faulty connection. See, it's not like I'm making shit up, guys. Everything I'm telling you is scientific. Between the brain regions. The work also highlights the importance of studying brain changes over time. We often describe autism as a lifelong neurodevelopment disorder, and we have not known how the brain develops in autism and across the life course, blah, blah, blah. But you can see that the area, the left and right brain, fray nerves. Researchers use a scanning technique called diffusion tensor imaging to study the microscopic structure of the corpus callosum in 100 boys and men with autism in 56 control over 9 years. The participant ranged from age 3 to 41 years old. And each of them underwent 4 scans during the studies by measuring diffusion of water, blah, blah, blah. They have a lower white matter integrity in the corpus callosum than those in the autistic group, but with their age, white matter gradually seems to fill out with more myelin. Myelin is like a sleeve, like a jacket that goes over the nerves, and it gets strengthened the more you work on a skill. By contrast, children with autism apparently start out with abundance of myelin, which is the jacket over the corpus callosum, but they shed it over time. That means over time it gets worse. The study suggests that white matter you may not understand those neuroscience stuff, but I understand all of it. So when I'm telling you these things, it's not like I'm making this stuff up. This is why RSD victims have this problem with that part of the brain, the left and right signal. The left and right signal is affecting everything. This is why they can't learn these skills, and this is why they like game. They like the shortcut. And now they're burning out because they realize they can no longer rely on the shortcut during COVID-19. They have to learn the social skills. They have to learn the social calibrations. Like I said, it's going to be a mass graveyard of MGTOWs very soon this year. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Last question. What do you already know about women? Is Elite 30 adaptable then? What if you already know the woman is Elite? It's very, very adaptable because you already got trust. You understand that? The second one is social skills, about trust. If you already know her and you use the body language, when with the other Middle Eastern student, the 5'7" guy who got laid after 1 week of using Elite 30, 16 hours a day. At first, he has a big social circle. None of the women were into him. He was an RSD victim for 6 years, and he also used like other dating coaches stuff, like self-proclaimed high lay counts. Course is nothing. He got no fucking results. All this gamey shit, no skills. Afterwards, he used Elite 30 in 1 week. This is the only product he ever got laid in. But he had a big social circle, so he could already do the flow drill. this part, but he could not do this part. So he just worked tirelessly at this. And all of a sudden, even after day 2, the women start being into him. Like I said, this is all talk right now, but I'll back it all up. Because after the next week, he got another, like, it wasn't a lay. He fingered a woman, and after that, he couldn't get it up. He was too, he needed Viagra or some shit. He could not get it up. But he still pulled a week afterwards, I think. After that, he was like texting a model. I told him not, see, a model, even though he's a 5'7". I told him not to go after this model because she's saying her boyfriend was in jail. And he is allowing him to fuck her, to make her happy. And I said, that's a sociopath. This woman is going to cause trouble. So he just kept Snapchatting her. And the boyfriend eventually was out of jail. So he came after my student in a big gang. What happened was my student, knowing that he's going to get beaten up, he beat the shit out of one of the guys. And he blinded the guy. So I think one of the eyes does not work anymore. So they came after him later that day with 3 people, Middle Eastern guys and Somalis. They stabbed him in the chest 3 times. But somehow they did not puncture him. And this is not the first student that got stabbed by Middle Eastern people. It's like there's actually multiple students. Always Middle Eastern. When you get too good at game, people get jealous. But for his social circle, like I said, I can back all this stuff up. But he left that part of Europe and he's in Turkey right now. So he moved there temporarily just to get out of the trouble. But how we're saying that, it does work really well with the people you know. Even at work, people start to respect you more. They cannot see that you're using Elite 30. Do you recommend us getting Snapchat? Can you stop thinking about online dating for a fucking second, please? Stop thinking about online dating and texting. Just fucking learn some social skills and social calibrations. Holy shit. What else do I need to back up this article with, or whatever I'm saying? I already used 2 sources of neuroscience, but you can see with autism. How do you feel about shotgun method or NLP? You are too much into other dating coaches shit to. I want to quote what Bruce Lee said. Okay? Bruce Lee, empty your cup. This is why you're not going to be really good until you can drop all this other shit. So here's Bruce Lee, right? Bruce Lee. And he is saying a quote. And I'm going to quote this. Although it's more philosophy, I'm not a philosopher like Todd Valentine. I'm a scientist. But this quote makes a lot of sense, Rebel. In order to taste my cup, okay? In order to taste my cup of water, you must first empty your cup. My friend, drop all your preconceived notions and fix ideas and be neutral. Do you know why this cup is useful? Because it is empty. I'll say this again. In order to taste my cup of water, you must empty your cup, my friend. Drop your preconceived notions and fix ideas and be neutral. Do you know why this cup is useful? Because it is empty. It's like what Yoda says. You must unlearn. You must unlearn what you have learned, Luke. Do you understand that? Because your brain is filled with so much of this stupid Shogun method, you're filled with so much NLP, Ross Jeffries shit. I know all these fucking methods. I field tested everything. That's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Go with evolutionary psychology. This is why you're gaslighted. So what does gaslighting mean? You look at how many student results that Shogun method have. 0. NLP, who knows? Maybe some here and there. What's gaslighting? You're all gaslighted. That's why you don't understand what I'm saying. Because other dating coaches have been brainwashing you. I'm trying to unbrainwash you guys. Gaslighting. So what's gaslighting? Gaslighting is a form of emotional abuse that is in abusive relationships and manipulating a person by forcing them to question their thoughts, memories, and the events occurring around them. A victim gaslighting may be pushed so far that they question their own sanity. You see that? I'm gaslight you guys. Because whenever you listen to other dating coaches, the very first thing they're doing is that they're showing you infields or standing next to a woman, something like that. And your brain shuts down and you have no more critical thinking. So you draw conclusions without critical thinking. That's why you can't understand me. That's why when I wasn't on YouTube Live very often, you guys been gaslighted. And this is the first line of offense, is gaslighting. So they keep gaslighting with half truths over and over and over and over and over and over. And eventually, when I'm talking to you, it's bouncing off your fucking brain. And it's causing a lot of brain pain when I'm telling you this stuff. So what you're experiencing now is called cognitive dissonance. Let's look it up. Cognitive dissonance. Just to make sure I'm not bullshitting. The term, right here, see it? Cognitive dissonance. The term cognitive dissonance is used to describe the mental discomfort that results in holding two conflicting beliefs, values, or attitudes. People tend to seek consistency in their attitudes and perceptions. So this conflict causes a feeling of unease or discomfort. So every time I'm debunking RSD sort of tactics or strategies, what's happening is it's causing a lot of mental discomfort because you have been gaslighted. Does that make sense? You're like, whoa, this is all neuroscience. Correct. You guys all been gaslighted, and the more I'm on here explaining it to you, spelling it out, the less you'll be gaslighted. And this is backed by the most student results in the world for Daygame. You should see what happens with Lockdown 3. You guys have not seen anything yet. I've just been too lazy to. The faces have been censored, but I have to compile all the Skype, all the infield analysis, all of their infields, as you can hear, many student infields to back it up, and all the WhatsApp pictures, and all that stuff. I have to compile them all together, and it takes a long time. But if it's necessary, I'll post it. Each of them will nuke the industry. You're not listening to me because you have so much preconceived notions and you're gaslighted. And right now, when I'm telling you this stuff, it's just causing brain pain. That's why you like to dismiss. Sheeps dismiss. Before 70% of you next year will be out of game for Daygame, and only the 30% will be all my students. But I have to wait a long time for that to happen. I'll be like the leader of the resistance for Daygame by then. And you guys already gone through Judgment Day. But yeah, that's cognitive dissonance. That's what you're experiencing. This is why it's when you tell the people so much fucking truth, their brain snaps out of it. That's what's happening. Like, you like to go back into worship mode. You like to have all these weird methods that have no fucking testimonials backed up with it. Shogun method. Go fuck yourself, Shogun method. Some dark psychology shit. It's like so stupid. My old roommate, my best friend, used to be into all this shit. He used to do acting lessons for Daygame. It doesn't work. He used to do Shogun method. He tried London Daygame. He tried all this stupid shit, Jason Capital shit, all this idealistic thinking, not proof-based thinking. And he got fucked up. I might need your help. I have a bad facial expressions when I talk to women because I can't concentrate. It's not because you can't concentrate. I'm trying to tell you, it's outside in. You have not trained your facial expressions to be congruent. You understand that? So therefore, the results, a lot of these Asian students and even the German student who's 52 years old, he already pulled twice, like within like a week and a half. He still needs to get laid. But when I heard his fucking infield, like I showed you guys, he was talking way too fast for the quarters slow. And he thought in his own mind that he is very expressive and he's very congruent and he's very, very alpha and very, very, he's flirting. We never heard one instance of flirting. We never heard a single instance of alpha behavior. We never heard an instance of using the social skills flow drill, even if he's trained in it, because they're autistic. Their capsum corpusum, whatever it's called, is too fucking weak. Because it's so fucking weak, they can't learn the skills that fast. That's why he's retraining. He already got a girlfriend now in my training, and a separate blowjob in a karaoke bar. And the woman he banged was way above his look scale and much younger, many, many years younger, like decades younger. But still, you guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. Social skills gets women way above your look scale. That's the big secret. It is the biggest, it's not the vibe. Status could help, but nothing can beat social skills. Social skills is unlike the vibe, is unlimited. There's no limitation to social skills. And most pickup artists cannot learn social skills. what else do I have to say to really see? You're just too gaslighted, Revo. Just too gaslighted. You've been listening to the wrong people. And you're stuck. And don't forget, the London student, before he trained under me, because I was Chinese, he didn't listen to me at first. He was listening to Todd Valentine and all the other London Daygame coaches. You know that? He dismissed me like a sheep. Sheep's dismissed. He didn't listen to me until I got him late. Then he, like, John's the only one that got me any results. And then he stuck with Elite 30. You see that? Because it's just like black students. They go right to Justin Wayne before. Because he's like, he block, I go Justin Wayne. This is like Obama is black, I vote Obama. It's like automatically you just choose your own race or you choose other coaches. Because John's Chinese, it's like, let's not listen to John first. And that's the problem. When he started to listen to me, he started using Elite 30. He was not using the Skypes. He got his first same day late. Then when he got 3 Skypes, the first Skype already got him late. Just nonstop insta-dates and late. And he said, I'm still going to take the second Skype, even though I got delayed. Second Skype already got like fucking 5 fuck buddies and a 5-some. Third Skype, because that's already like 8 or 9 lays. And the 10th or 8 lays. Because 4 are women and another 5, yeah, around 9. And then he fucked like 2 more models afterwards on the third Skype. You see that? He dismissed me in the beginning because this coach is he white, I white. He got no results, very autistic. No results for other coaches. Comes to me, unstoppable. He becomes one of the biggest legends of Daygame. He can beat all the other white dating coaches. 6 foot tall. Student. Not that good looking. Where's my fashion? Like I said, until you can finally drop all the other dating coaches and look at the student results. This is what RSD sheeps don't get. They make the wrong conclusions, which I'll talk about in the future. It's called attribution theory. Let's see what attribution theory is. It's all science. So I know exactly how you attribution theory. So attribution theory is concerned with how ordinary people explain the cause of behavior and events. Attribution theory deals with how the social perceiver uses information to arrive at a causal explanation for events. So what's happening with the sheeps is once they see like a procreation switch, they stand next to women or whatever, people already made attributions. That means they already made conclusions. They already made the conclusion and they already dismissed anything else away from the conclusion. It means automatically the human brain needs to draw a conclusion. After this YouTube live, you're going to be drawing conclusions. And your conclusions is, I'm not going to listen to John. I'm going to keep spam approaching and do it my way. Due to low self-esteem. And you're going to burn out. I'm telling you, Judgment Day is happening right now. I'm 5'9", 5'10", need to improve social skills. You need to improve body language and social skills. Because you have some height on you. Improving your body language would be a big fucking boost. Do you change what you tell the students based on the person's race? Yes. Every single student has a different race, so they have a different social standing. So therefore, they're not always learning the exact same style. They'll be making different tweaks and stuff. Does that make sense? No 2-person has exactly the same game. So therefore, they're not learning the same thing. 1 second. So no 2 students learn exactly the same game. So for example, if Revo over there is black, right? He's a taller black guy. He'd be learning a much different style of game or adaptation than somebody who is shorter in Chinese. They'll have to focus on different things to get that 20 out of 35 score. Once you get 20 out of 35, especially with social skills over here, boosting 2.5 points, and social calibration is 2.5. This is 5 points right here, guys, that you're dismissing. Game is only 2.5. You're spiking a little bit, and their game sucks shit during COVID-19. It's not going to work. Their old products don't even fucking work. My products, the old ones, are still working during COVID-19. So I'm teaching you something real. They're teaching you stuff that doesn't work, so you'll take their boot camps. You look at how many late testimonials they have. And if it's not that many for multiple products, then you wonder, why are the students at the boot camp? Because they're confused. This one already gives you, my one, 5 points right here out of 10. So you need less game. to get over the line. How long do you critically in-field test a certain skill to determine whether it works or not? The thing is that you can't really critically tell, because for you guys, you cannot see your own mistakes. Most of the sheeps out there, they come to me with their infield for analysis, and for them, they thought they were very amazing. For you, you're just gonna have to match what you see in Elite 30 as close as possible, or maybe use up your Skypes, because you guys are dismissing the Skypes that you guys have. Use up one of your Skypes to test your body language. You need access to my mental filter, because if I can use one Skype and get a student 10 fuck buddies, right? A 5-some, 2 models and 1 model girlfriend over one Skype, then you gotta think to yourself, why does it take 6 months to master something? It's bullshit. If one Skype can already get a student laid, the other student pulled in one Skype and 2 Skype got laid, a Filipino guy. He almost got laid, but he didn't know the first woman, who was Latina, who's really hot and pretty, that she was into him. He fucked the second one that was like, half Asian, half Latina. But however, he didn't see, because he didn't know. She was into him and she was giving him hints. He was just like a Forrest Gump in the bedroom. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what. Until I said that to him, he's like, whoa, what the fuck? She was about to bang. I was like, yeah, dude, you missed the opportunity. You don't know what you don't know. When you're autistic, you always think you know everything. You always think you know everything. You have a shallow mental filter. That's the problem. Because the less you know, the more you think you know. Your universe is very small. When you know more of your mistakes, then the universe expands. And then you realize, shit, you don't know shit. You're just seeing in the surface level. Every skill can be scored out of 10. If I were scoring most of you guys' skills, most of you would just be like 1 out of 10. But of course, you can always use your height and race and just a little bit of skill just to get over that line, 20 out of 35. How do you feel about not letting women disrespect you so she will respect you during their relationship? I think that's very important. I think there's a threshold. Sometimes the women, when they're like more disrespectful, is because they're losing attraction. So my students, they continue to boost their looks, because over time they start to lose their looks. When they get their looks back and the other women are looking and stuff, the women start to comply. Does that make sense? And they don't take shit from the women. They're willing to walk. That's how I correct a lot of the students' relationships. When they no longer take shit from women and are willing to walk, and they start to increase their looks, because over time the woman always tells them, like, dress like shit, because she wants to keep you in the relationship by not attracting other women. So that's how my students, right, can keep the relationship. So yes, do not be disrespected by women, because you give an inch, they'll take a mile or 2 every fucking time. Every time. And whenever she's really not into you, she'll start to look at other guys. So this bullshit alpha man strategies, choosing signals, bullshit. It's really not, the woman is not even into them. They still have a boyfriend, but they're starting looking around to cheat, or looking around to look for someone better. So when you see your girlfriend or something looking around, being into other guys, she's going to replace you very soon. She's already looking. So it's very scientific when you think about it. It's all about value, relative sexual market value. So whenever the students are better looking than the girlfriends, for example, even though the girlfriend is very, very attractive, the student is more attractive slightly, she'll never leave him no matter how bad his personality is, even if he's a complete fucking psycho and sadistic. So the whole idea is that emotions and personality equals retaining a girlfriend is bullshit. It's all about race and height. That's all it is. You can mentally abuse her all day. She will not leave. I know it sounds very fucked up, but that's the truth. The more mentally abusive you are, the more whatever. And that's the thing. And the women, if she's below your look scale, she's always gonna be insecure, and she's always gonna she's always gonna put you down and accuse you of cheating and stuff like that, because she wants to keep you in one day for marriage, because it's hypergamy or hypergamy. Hope that makes sense. So the students, they usually get the women that's completely crazy, that is just acting batshit insane, but in reality, they're only accusing of, oh, you're cheating on, because she wants to marry that student one day. He has higher value than her. So sometimes in the relationship, some of the very tall or good-looking students, when they have more value than women, the women will never leave, no matter how fucked up they are. Even if they fuck up every time they don't connect even once, and she's begging for it, and if they still don't connect, she still stays if it's hypergamy. So it really depends. And some of the students have women way above their look scale, and they're still into the student. So it really depends on the student. A lot of them have girlfriends, and social skills plus banging them a lot. The women will ask like, "Oh, what are we? What frame are we?" It's like, I don't know, boyfriend, girlfriend. It's like, sure, just bang them over and over during the week. Try to bang them as many times as possible. You get automatic girlfriends. No need for romance. If she thinks you're cheating, is that a good place to be? Yeah, that's a great place to be. In reality, she doesn't think you're cheating. She might be thinking of cheating. But in reality, she just wants to see how loyal you are because she's thinking about like you might be a future husband material. If she's always accusing you of that and you try to say, I don't know what you're talking about, in reality, she just wants to make sure you don't cheat because she wants to make sure even when you get married one day and she's trying to keep you by gaslighting you and fucking treating you like shit, mentally abusing you over and over again. She wants to make sure you're so mentally defensively weak that you'll one day marry her. It's their strategy because these students are very narcissistic and they're also in a relationship with a narcissistic woman who is a little bit crazy too. And she's going to be very controlling. But in reality, she's like sees the other person as a higher value. So that's why she's so mentally abusive. At the same time, the student does not connect and treats her like shit. It's like a dysfunctional relationship of codependency. Hope that makes sense. I've been cussed out at a girl and she blocked me. Well, you're not supposed to cuss out a girl that you're not in a relationship with. That looks very low value. So whenever you get angry and stuff, it's very low value behavior. It turns off women. So should short guys focus on same day lays rather than long-term relationships since women will reject short guys? I would recommend that you try to bang her as many times as possible and try to work on your lifestyle too to retain her. The shorter guys, yeah, unless you're really, really good looking, some of the short, good looking students get more fuck buddies than girlfriends, but height equals automatic girlfriend. Race equals automatic girlfriend. I hate to say it, but it's true for my students. So in case they're doing romantic sexual shit, the students that they do get results with are always in the boyfriend girlfriend zone. It doesn't mean everyone. All the other students that are not there, it's just like using Tinder, right? And just being white. White is right. 95% of them will get a ton of lays. And that doesn't mean shit because Tinder doesn't count. But they have more value. So it's a value system. Height for relationships matter. If you're above 5'9", the women just can't wait to get in a relationship with you. And depends on your race too. If you have a race advantage, she's into you. I hate to tell you this, but it's true. And the shorter guys, like sometimes, like the shorter guys, they may lose the girl to hypergamy. They may get that same day lay. It depends where you live too. For example, I had a wingman who was 5'10", very handsome looking guy. Okay. But the thing is, he could not get a girlfriend here, even though he's Chinese and his looks are way above mine. When he moved to Toronto, he runs like a bachata studio. I wanted him to scout Toronto for me. He never came back. And he loved it there because he got a girlfriend. You know, she's not hot, but he was so happy to get that girlfriend. He got like 14 fuck buddies here. He was a very good looking guy in a row. 14 fuck buddies. That's not bad. They're not super good looking compared to him, but he can't tell because he's like delusional. He's like, oh, she has blue eyes and blonde hair. It's good enough. So he's just SMV, you know? But regardless, he escalates pretty hard, and he's also has a good vibe. But he's good looking. He's quite tall. He always denies his height. I think he's like 5'10" and a half or something. But he always says, "Oh, I'm just 5 foot." They always lower their height when they're around this 5'11" range. I don't know why they do that, but they want to make themselves seem more relatable. What's the best way to control your emotions, and how do you become more masculine? I could cold shower every day. Ashwagandha will help you control your emotions a lot better because it reduces the cortisol, the fight, flight, and freeze response. So for cortisol, just to talk from a scientific perspective, so ashwagandha, 1 second. Ashwagandha, okay? ASH. Ashwagandha cortisol. Okay. ashwagandha is best known for its stress-lowering effects. The medical herb appears to have lower levels of cortisol, a hormone that's produced by your adrenal glands in response to stress. More specifically, daily doses of 125 mg to 5 grams for 1 to 3 months have shown to lower cortisol levels by 11% to 32%. See, I wasn't making up bullshit. It says it right here. Ashwagandha. See that? So it's not like that was from Healthline, but ashwagandha can help your emotions because the fight, flight, and freeze response, which is a stress indicator. It's like when a saber-toothed tiger attacks, you either go into fight mode, flight mode, or freeze mode. Only 4 likes here. I'm giving you guys a neuroscience, understanding here in this YouTube live. I'm teaching you about neuroscience and how the brain works. You guys are learning a lot. So that can help your emotions. So they also did in a government site, they did a placebo double-blind study, and it works exactly the same thing. It's called adaptogenic, which helps with stress. So that can increase or improve your emotional capabilities. That means if you have a cortisol problem, and you can blame it on looks, but maybe some of these people that are just saying, "Oh, it's all looks, you're scamming them," maybe work on taking ashwagandha first for these people. Maybe what you guys need to is lower your cortisol, because no matter how good looking you guys are, some of you people who says all looks, right, and you're mentally retarded. Some of you guys are very good looking. You never realize that. Some of you, those kind of black pill people. Some of them are extremely good looking, but they're just sort of like cortisol based, and they're delusional. They think they're ugly, but they're better looking than most of the people out there. They just hunch like shit, and they're just full of emotional problems. Maybe so once you can purify your emotions through the ashwagandha, then more of the pure emotions come out of your body. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's what I recommend. So if they say like 60 days, right, you better not skip a single day of ashwagandha so you can reduce it by 11% or 32%. I'm just telling you guys the truth here. I'm just preaching the truth. If you guys don't want to listen, you will burn out. You listen to these other people's methods. That stuff, maybe before COVID-19, you could listen to it. You won't get results or that much. Look at their testimonials. But now when you look at it during COVID-19, like a big stress test with a virus that goes in your lungs, what happens when you don't listen to me? You're going to die. I don't mean death in like physical death. I mean Daygame death. This RSD shit, if you try to outer game this shit. And this improves your emotions too. It makes it easier out there. It makes it much easier. So if you have a little bit of cortisol and stuff like that, approach anxiety, this can reduce your approach anxiety dramatically with, just to lower your cortisol. So that's ashwagandha. In the fight, flight, and freeze response, we can talk about it. Flight, freeze. So everything I'm saying all this time is all related to neuroscience. There's no theories here. So what is fight, flight, and freeze? The fight, flight, and freeze response is your body's natural reaction to danger. It is a type of stress response that helps you react to perceived threats. Like an oncoming car or growling dog. Or in this case, right, for evolutionary psychology, a saber-toothed tiger. You can either fight, run away, or freeze, and hopefully it doesn't see you. Because animals sometimes see black and white. That's why zebras freeze up for a second, so they look like trees. They adapted. So let's continue. Freezing, fight, or flight on hold, where you further prepare to protect yourself. It's always science, guys. Everything I'm saying is backed up by neuroscience, backed up by psychology, backed up by my student results. There's no theories here. If you guys don't want to listen to me, you will burn out. And I'll just say good riddance. Your autism and your capus callosum, whatever, your lack of ability to adapt, your opinions as facts, your dismissal, your very shallow thinking is going to burn you out during COVID-19. That's all I gotta say. I hope that somebody understands. If you're not practicing Elite 30 every fucking second of your life, even in front of the mirror or out there, wearing a mask, I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your life for Daygame. You have no chance. That's just to get your fucking foot in the door now during Lockdown 3. Just to get that fucking foot in the door. Lockdown 2, you can get away with just Elite 30, but you gotta learn the flow drills. And you're like, this is too much work. Well, guess what? Would you like to gamify it and just fucking fail? It's up to you. Stop looking for the shortcuts in life. There is no shortcuts. This is the shortcut. Once you learn this, you get this for the rest of your life. It's like a neural pathway. You build the forest, you build the roads. I wish I could tell you any different. That's all I want to say for today. I got so much to say. If I don't go on YouTube Live more often, you guys will be gaslighted. I could post testimonials all day. I wouldn't. If I were to post one late testimonial after another, week after week, I could post it like past the end of the year and have way over 100 video testimonials if I have to read the screenshots. That many, like 120. I can go on all day. It will never end. It will never, ever end. 1 second. Stupid pickup artists posting their stupid shit in these forum groups. I just post nothing but late testimonials. All right. Thank you for saying thank you. I appreciate that somebody cares and listens. If you guys do not get this, if you guys are listening to this, you are the resistance. It's like John Connor from the future going back in time trying to tell you guys, like, this is Judgment Day. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that somebody does care, because I'm starting to feel like nobody's really listening, or they're not getting it. They're too gaslighted. I know I've been away a little bit. Like when my computer broke, I've been away a little bit. But if I'm not here trying to spell it out, even though it's very, to me, it's very obvious. But to you guys, it's not obvious. Even this outside-in concept is not obvious. That's all I got to say. See you guys next time. And get Elite 30 if you guys don't have it. And use your Skypes. Use your Skypes. Sacrifice one of them. Sacrifice one of them so you know your mistakes. So you don't repeat them in this cycle. Spiking the game is not good enough. It's like a motorcycle. Just to recap, it's all about building that social skills or social calibrations. So you don't have to flirt and tease as much of spiking it. It'll gradually build, not very high in the beginning. It grows and grows. When you have more social skills, you have more trust in a tribal kind of pandemic. So you already got the trust and you already got the attraction. Then why the fuck are you using game and spiking it? This is not enough volume, as you can see when I draw lines there. Compare this. This is bigger. Although it looks smaller at first, it goes bigger and bigger. This is the secret that nobody understands, these two. All right, see you guys later. Hope you enjoyed today's YouTube Live. I'm just losing my voice a little bit if I sound a little bit softer. Hopefully this microphone can make up for that so I don't talk as loud. Because I have to teach so many students all day, I'm losing my voice. They're not getting it. So